Hello, my lovely, and I'll turn that down a bit, shall I? Right, let's try again. Hello, my lovelies, and a very warm welcome, although it's not very warm here at the moment, to Tuesday Night Live, the Tuesday night edition of our community live stream where we get together and spend the very last hour of the day in each other's company. Something I look forward to and enjoy very much. And it is nothing less than a sheer orgasmic joy to be with you once again. I am I'm knackered. I am knackered. Oh dear, I've got loads and loads to tell you, probably too much for one night. I'll probably have to tell you some things tonight and some other things tomorrow night. And maybe I'll even tell you some things on Thursday night. You never know. You're going to be told a lot of things over the forthcoming few days. Oh, what? I should rub it up. I should cocoa. Well, I'll go to the foot of our stairs. But I hope that you're wonderfully well. I hope that the week has begun well for you. And I hope you're not all becoming goggly eyed because you're now seemingly obliged to spend every hour or minute of your waking existence watching some bloody live stream or other. You, you're going to get fed up of it sooner or later, aren't you? Who have I got here? Let's have a look. Now, I have been a good boy and I have put it onto all messages. And if I get round to it, I'll give some channel memberships away tonight to celebrate going home yesterday. Yeah, I might do that. Where are we? Oh, yeah, it's not. Yeah, I tell you what, 11:30, I will give away 5 channel memberships. And there's going to be some stuff worth watching coming up for channel members. What? Oh, yes, you'd bet. I should say so, Mrs. Barry Scrotter is with us. Good evening, everyone, says Barry, and a very good evening to you. Andrew Buttigeek. Hello, Boaty and Barry. How are you feeling, Boaty, after your big adventure? A bit tired, but yeah, good, thank you. Dan Peters is with us and says, good evening, Mr. Boaty, sir. I was just on Captain Mustard's live stream and it was great. Oh, well, thanks. I've just been to work and it wasn't. Mr. Stephen Parry from Port Sunlight in the Whittle, the Leisure Peninsula, says, oh, he has questions. I do enjoy questions. What time did Mr. Jason get back today? I got back at 10 to 11, so 14 minutes ago. No, it's tell a lie, it was a bit earlier than that. It was about 17 minutes to 11, I think. So 21 minutes ago. How has your day been? A bit stressful at times. Did you manage to get breakfast? Yes, but I didn't manage to eat it because it was appalling. And also, did you make coffee with your machine in the hotel room? I did make coffee with my machine in the hotel room, and I'm jolly glad that I took it because the coffee machine in the breakfast place was broken. So the only coffee available was the instant crap coffee that they stuck in your hotel room. So I was very, very grateful indeed that I did take my machine with me. And I took it into work tonight and made myself, and Ram actually, we had a nice cup of coffee each at 6 o'clock tonight. Dan Peters is with us and says, I would love to see you and Mustard do a spicy eating challenge. Could be amusing. Jimmy Quinn is here. Good evening, Boaty and all. How was your trip home? Stressful. Very stressful. But not too bad, really. Tracy's with us, the Greenwood. Evening all. Blooming starving now after seeing Mustard cooking and then scoffing a really great looking pizza. I bet he ruined it by putting cheese on it. He has no culture, that fellow. He's lovely, but he is rather uncouth. He's the sort of chap who would put pizza who would put cheese on a pizza. Not the done thing, but then perhaps he hasn't spent much time in Italy. Ben is with us. Ben, with the name that many months ago I stopped trying to read out because it's too long and complicated. And he says, "Good even song, fellow Boatistas." Jimmy Quinn says the pizza looked crap. And Jimmy F500 says, "He is terrible, Tracy. I was drooling, looking at mustard, eating that pizza. Lush." And I flipping lost my phone today. I've been racking my 2 remaining brain cells to recall where he lost it, presumably. Well, I hope it turns up, Jimmy F. Cars with JC, the lovely Joe says, "Good evening, all. Indeed, Tracy, Paul's pizza looked amazing." Bloody hell, is this what my live streams are going to become? We're going to talk about bloody mustard live all night that I didn't see. Ed Usher is with us. Good evening, Ed, and thank you for joining us. Good evening, Mr. Boaty. Hope you're well and rested from today's excursions. I'm not bloody rested. I haven't stopped all day. I do hope you have a favourable tipple ready for this evening's antics. And I'm also looking forward to your company and entertainment. Well, that's very kind of you, Ed, and it's lovely to see you here again. And on the subject of a favourite tipple, I don't know if it's a favourite tipple yet, but I'm about to find out. Steady. Now then, this is a wine that I haven't tried before. I will show it to you. And I have to say a huge shout out and thank you to the lovely Joe of Cars with JC, because this wine that I'm about to try came courtesy of Joe. It's called Le Rêveur, which, and it's a Gros Manseng. Okay. And apparently, this pairs awfully well with spicy Asian dishes. It's clearly French, and that, when it comes to wine, that can only be a good thing. Now, it needs chilling. I didn't have a chance to get to a shop, so it's low tide at Wine Bay. So, because I've been home, I thought I would treat myself to a bottle of the really nice stuff. So, well, I hope it's really nice anyway. It certainly looks and sounds really nice. And again, massive thank you to Joe for very kindly sending me this bottle of wine. Now, it's not properly chilled yet, so I've only just thrown it in the old. It wasn't even in the fridge. It was on my booze stand in the front parlour where I put my posh wines. Oh God, Bernard rang me on the way home from work tonight. That's the first time she's come out from under the woodwork for God, months and months and months and months. I didn't answer. Right, let's see what this is like then, shall we? Oh, oh, it smells interesting. Sorry, that, that sounded rather uncouth. I should say it has a fascinating nose, if we're going to do it in wine speak. Above everything else, I'm getting apple. Oh, now that is utterly delicious. That is absolutely gorgeous. It's it's smooth, but it's very, oh God, I you see, it's very broad on the palate, and it's quite smoky, and it's kind of multi-dimensional in taste. It's quite intricate. Now it's got a bit of age to it, this wine, little bit of age. It's 2020, so it's nowhere near as young as most wines that most wines that you would buy from supermarket or whatever. They're normally going to be really quite young, probably a year old, 2 years old. This has got 4 years of age, and you can taste that in the intimacy, in the intricacy. Oh, there's a Freudian slip for you, because I was talking about Bernard, wasn't it? And I'm just getting it's just heading down there now, and it's spreading out. Oh, and tonight, I'm not wearing my mustard t-shirt, I'm wearing my Boaty t-shirt. The boys in the band ordered boat drinks. I love this t-shirt. Probably my favourite t-shirt. My friend Tropsy, Alan Marsh, another one of my, Trops, don't you, Trace? He, a while ago, he moved back to America from the UK. He's back in the UK now. And he saw this t-shirt and said, oh, look, boat, I saw this Margaritaville boat drinks t-shirt. How cool is that? And I said, it's really cool. Why didn't you buy it for me? He said, oh, do you want it? I said, of course I do. Go back to the shop tomorrow and buy it and send it to me, please. And bless him, he did exactly that. And that was quite a few years ago now, but it's a very favourite t-shirt of mine, is this. That really is delightful. That is a very sophisticated wine. Joe, bless you. What a fantastic choice. Good evening, all, says Bad Books. Oh, and Jimmy Quinn, when Trace questioned whether he really thought the pizza looked crap, Jimmy Quinn says, no, it really looked crap, and I wouldn't eat it, Tracy. Ben says, Dan, I agree. And he agrees with Dan saying that it'd be cool to see me and Mustard having a spicy eating contest. Maybe they could start by sampling Hubnut spicy balls. Oh, God. Joe says, hope your journey back to the Peak District went smoothly in your V645, Jason. Well, the car went immaculately smoothly. It's been an absolute joy in all conditions, in all weathers, on all roads. And my God, I've been on all sorts of roads. That was grand. The problem was, well, everything was fine. I decided to go the long way round home for various reasons. So I decided to go south instead of north, down to the coast, down to Neath and Swansea, pick up the M4, swing by Petalbert, and go over the Severn Bridge, and then back up the M5. It'll all make sense when you see the uploaded footage. You'll see why I didn't want to go back the way I came, but also it's different roads, something different to film. I thought, well, I haven't done an episode of Boaty's Bridges for well over a year, so I'll get the Severn Bridge in that one. Well, that didn't happen, did it? There was a bloody accident on the Severn Bridge, a crash, and we were all stuck literally in the middle of the bloody bridge, weren't we, for ages? And as I've got older, I'm not as keen on heights as I used to be. And I'll be honest, some bridges give me the collywobbles when I drive over them. Some of them are absolutely fine, but the worst one was the Humber Bridge when I did that for Boaty's Bridges. I was having a full-blown panic attack all the way over there. Now, the Severn Bridge isn't normally too bad for me. I get a bit of a flutter, but I'm normally fine. But when you're stuck on the bloody thing right in the middle at the high point for God knows how long, and there's crash shenanigans going on about you, it's a little bit different. And then there were just roadworks and delays, and oh God, oh, I need certain motorways I just need to avoid. Every time they're a nightmare. The M5 was a nightmare. The M42 was a nightmare. The M1 was all right, actually. I wasn't on it for too long. And that meant that I had double jeopardy. I had time jeopardy and fuel jeopardy. And I wasn't at all sure that I was going to get to work on time or at all, because I thought I might run out of fuel. I've used a lot of fuel over these last 2 days. A lot of fuel. It's expensive. Oh, bloody hell, Bernard's ringing again. At this time of night. What's all that about? Well, apologies for the noise. We're just going to have to sit tight until... Oh, am I going to have to answer? Oh, no. We're okay. We're okay. So, where did I get to? Oh, yeah, sampling Hubnut spicy balls, and then Joe hoping the journey went well. Hi, Joe. Good video, says Jimmy Quinn. Dan Peters is with us. Hello, Mr. Boaty, sir. Hope you're well. How was Wales? Of course, I have to remember that at this point, you've not seen any of the footage, have you? You've just got the ramblings from last night's live. I'm delighted that I went. Just having touched base, having been there, it really did scratch an itch. I think I said that last night. It was a delight and a joy to meet Sean, and you know, it was great. It was great. Thank you. I thought that was new candles, but now I think they're condiments, says Trace. Well, darlings, that is one of the reasons why I decided to go the long way round over the Severn Bridge and pick up the M5. Now, as you know, oh, hang on. I do apologise. My my little tinkle popped out. Let me. Dear me, what a thing to happen on a live stream. Just flopped out to the side, it did. I've done a temporary tuck back. I apologise for that. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. Some while ago, you remember how I raved about Tewkesbury mustard, which is a mix of horseradish and Dijon mustard, isn't it? I think. And I said, look, heads up, guys, Sainsbury's have started selling it. They can't call it Tewkesbury mustard because it's got one of those location things. So if it's not made in Tewkesbury, you're not allowed to call it Tewkesbury mustard. I've forgotten what that's called, but it is a thing. And I raved about it, and some of you, quite a few of you, I think, went out and bought some and said, yeah, this is fantastic. Well, almost immediately, having introduced it, Sainsbury's stopped doing it. And it was jolly affordable as well. So once, you know, what I ran out, and I haven't had any Tewkesbury mustard for ages. And Sainsbury's don't sell it anymore. You can't get it at Tesco. You can't get it. You can't even get it at Waitrose, darlings. Believe me, I've tried. And I suddenly thought, well, if I go back up the M5, picking up the M5 at the M4 split, I'll be going past Gloucester Services, which, as many of you know, has a farm shop and all of that sort of thing in there. And I thought, that's in Gloucestershire, and that's about 7 miles from Tewkesbury. I thought, I bet they'll have some Tewkesbury mustard in there. So I went there, didn't I? And I went in and I had a look, even though I didn't have time. And sure enough, look at that, darlings. Look at that. Glorious Tewkesbury mustard. the good stuff. And the other one I got while I was there, because I've been wanting to try this. Now, this you can buy in Waitrose anyway. And it's Crackleman's Strong Horseradish Cream. I've been wanting to try that. So I'm delighted with these. Oh, and also, because I was in Asda last night buying a sandwich and some vodka to help me to survive through the night, I found something else that I thought was only available in Waitrose that I wanted to try and maybe recommend if it's any good. And amazingly, they had it in Asda. I thought only Waitrose stocked it. I'm going to show you in a minute. And I'm going to try this very soon, not tomorrow, because Ram made me a treat for my lunch tomorrow, bless him. But I'll probably try it on Thursday. Now, I sometimes haven't done it for a while, but I like to make hot and sour soup, my own version of it. Hot and sour Chinese soup, which is made with, white spirit vinegar and chili and whatnot. Now, look what I'll show you now. Now then, everything that I've tried from these people has been good. Their noodles are absolutely great. They do another soup that that I quite often have, although I mess it about a bit. I add to it and do my own thing with it, but it makes a really good base. So I'm quite excited to try this. Let me show you. So that's Chinese style, hot and sour ramen noodle soup. Really excited to try these. Now, these were 3 for £1, so 33p. So, you can't argue about the price, can you? And I'm really excited to see if their other soup that I've tried, really good. Their noodles that I've tried, really, really good. Really good. One of my favorites. You've seen me cook them. I've done it. You do need to add your own bits and pieces to them. They're never enough on their own. There's no meat in there for a start. But I've got quite high hopes for this. So so we'll be trying those probably on Thursday. So laying my hands on those and these have kind of added an extra special bit of joy to the trip. So that's all very good. Oh, and in other joy news, I managed to, hang on. I managed to nick some HP sauce sachets from the breakfast restaurant, which is very useful for me. Once in a blue moon, I fancy treating myself to a bacon sandwich. It doesn't happen often. I wouldn't let myself do it too often. But once in a blue moon, I do fancy it. And as I've told you many times, the correct dressing for a bacon sandwich is HP sauce and a light dusting of ground white pepper. Now, the problem with that is I'm not going to, if I open a bottle of HP sauce to put on my bacon sandwich, and I do have a bottle of HP sauce, but I never open it, as you know. I wait until it goes out of date and then I replace it. Because if I open it, then I'm not going to have another bacon sandwich for another 6 months or maybe a year. And it's and you're supposed to keep it in the fridge, although I don't suppose that really matters. Probably got so much sugar in it, you could leave it in a furnace that it wouldn't go off. But if I have sachets of HP sauce, then that would be perfect for a cheeky ad hoc bacon sandwich. And again, on the subject of breakfast, Premier Inn breakfast, hugely disappointing. The coffee machine was broken, so the only coffee on offer was instant coffee. You know me, darlings, I'm not doing that. Fortunately, I did take my coffee machine, and thank God I did, so I could have a decent cup of coffee when I went back to the room. So I had juice. I like a glass of apple juice in the morning, but I buy the good stuff. The apple juice in this place was horrendous. I mean, I suspect it was crap to begin with, and it tasted like crap apple juice that had been watered down or mixed with water or whatever. The next issue was that it wasn't as advertised. It wasn't a buffet breakfast. Not at all. The continental style stuff was in a kind of buffet arrangement, and the place was all a bit shabby and all a bit run down, really. And I said to the lovely Welsh waitress, I said, where's the hot food? And she said, and they're so deliciously casual, the Welsh. She said, oh, just sit down, love, and I take your order and we bring it to you, you see. And then, but the problem is, right, if you're having a buffet breakfast, you can pile on whatever you want. Nobody looks, nobody cares, you don't feel guilty. But when she goes through the list, and you have to say what you want. So she said, right, eggs. Would you like eggs? I said, yes, please. And she said, poached, boiled, scrambled or fried? I said, fried, please. How many do you want? And you think, well, really, I'd like 3 because I don't eat the whites. I only eat the yolk. But I'm not going to say 3 because that's going to make me sound greedy. So I said 2. Sausages? Yes, please. How many? And I'm thinking, well, I want 4 or 5. But I'm not going to say that because it's my. So I ended up having 2 eggs. And she goes through the whole list. And then I don't know if it's cooked to order or if it's just picked out of a hot plate or whatever in the back. And it's delivered to you. So I went for 2 eggs, 2 sausage, 2 bacon, 2 hash browns, a grilled tomato, and baked beans. Now, when it came out, the hash browns were so overcooked you couldn't really eat them. The sausage was incredibly overcooked. That was virtually inevitable. The bacon was all right, but it was very dry. The eggs were, to my mind and my eyes, they were just raw. The you couldn't cut the yolk. There was no firmness to the yolk at all. It was just all mixed in with the egg white. So I couldn't eat that. I couldn't eat those. I mean, it was just very disappointing. The whole thing was very disappointing, and the idea of charging £10.99 for that without even a decent cup of coffee is, in my mind, a sheer bloody outrage. And to be honest, I would be very tempted to put a genuine complaint in writing or to nail myself to a cross outside the establishment in protest, except for one thing. After saying on the live stream that you can't blag a breakfast at a Premier Inn like you can at the Travelodge, it would appear to be a Welsh English thing. I blagged both breakfasts, both times at the Travelodge in Rhyl, no problem. There's no way that I could blag a Premier Inn breakfast when I stayed at Premier Inn at Milne Row. They were like all over you. Absolutely no way. At this place in Wales, just like it looks like they didn't give a shit about cleaning too much. They didn't give a shit whether you'd paid or not. I wasn't even asked. I just went in. They told me to sit down, make myself comfortable. And at no point was I asked, had I paid? Did I need to pay? What was my name? What was my room number? Nothing. So free breakfast. Although, you know, the shine was kind of taken off that when I couldn't eat most of it. But there we are. John Stoodley is with us. Hey, chat and hey, Boaty. You're looking a bit seedy, Boaty, says Andrew. It's been a long day. I didn't have a bad night's sleep, and I woke up later than I normally do in a hotel, to be fair. Although I definitely should have turned the heating down before I went to sleep because I was a bit too warm. But I didn't have a bad night at all. I would absolutely love to see you, Mr. Boaty, and Captain Mustard doing a spicy challenge. I'm sure we could do it. It's my eyesight, Joe, says Trace. After spending 2 hours staring at Mustard, you're going to get fed up with these live streams. Mustard is doing them daily now. I've been doing them pretty much daily, and then other people are doing them as well. It's all going to get too much for you, isn't it? I think that live streams at some point will just burn themselves out. Either people will get fed up of doing them, or you'll get fed up of watching them, or maybe that won't apply to Mustard because, of course, he's got thousands of new people, hasn't he, coming in all the time. So maybe they won't burn out. Maybe you'll all just get fed up of me instead. Chris McGuire is here and says, evening, Boaty. Jimmy Quinn says, Boaty, have you... No, I can't read that one out. Oh, Peter P is with us and says, good evening. Hello, Peter. Good of you to pop by, sir. It's lovely having you with us, part of the old community. Chaz Brown is here and says, good to see you got home okay. Yeah, glad to be home in one piece. God, it was freezing when I got in because I turned the heating right down. Properly chilly when I got in. But we'll soon have it nice and toasty. Trisha Alderman is with us. Hello, Jason and all. Hello to you. Ed says, I had an unfortunate accident with a candle on a drunken weekend in 1989. I woke up with it lodged somewhere that it shouldn't have been. Dear me. Right, okay. Well, I hope it wasn't too firmly lodged. That would have been a good one to explain when you went to hospital, wouldn't it? Sophie is here. Hello, Boaty. Lovely to see you all. Lovely to see you, Sophie. And with Sophie is Neil. Hello, all. How are we? How are we, Mr. Boaty? Are we keeping our socks on tonight? Yeah, you're safe tonight. It's a bit of a different atmosphere when I'm lounging about on a bed to when I'm sitting all formal at a table, isn't it? Maybe that's why the numbers were a load better last night. Maybe I need to start doing the live streams in a more relaxed and colourful, as Tracy pointed out, situation with a bit more movement rather than me just sitting and reading at you. I suppose it does look a bit boring, doesn't it? We'll have to have a little think how we can do it differently. I mean, maybe if I had you sort of pointing this way a bit, so that I could wonder about the kitchen and do things as I chatted to you, because there are always things to do. You know, even if it's just doing the washing up, it's a bit of movement, isn't it? Change of scenery. So yeah, that could be an option. There are quite a few things that, as I think I told you last night, and I wasn't drunk last night. I remember everything, so I can't have been that drunk. And if Mustard has been telling tales about me telephoning him at whatever it was o'clock, I did, but I remember the conversation clearly. So I can't have been that drunk. And I specifically remember the things that he said on no account. I might a week to talk. I was outside that hotel because because I rang him from. I went down for a fag, which ended up as multiple fags, and Mustard pinged me a message, and I thought, well, I'm out here just having a fag, and there's nobody out there, no spare, no skirt, nothing to have a bash at cracking onto. So I pinged him back and I said, are you still up? And he pinged back, well, obviously. I said, yeah, but are you up? You're not in bed pinging me or anything, are you? And he said, no. So I rang him, which came as a surprise to him, and then spent the next half an hour or whatever it was, standing outside the hotel at some ungodly hour, laughing like a bloody drain. Oh, we did have a laugh. And I will admit I was nicely relaxed. I wasn't drunk. I only had half a bottle. I remember everything. I remember going to bed. I remember eating my supper. I didn't fall off the bed or anybody else. Really well-behaved night, actually, by my standards. Boaty, you need to take that jumper off. It was clearly the snazzy T-shirt that got everyone in last night. I'm freezing my tits off here, Trace. It's right. It's cold in here. No, it's too cold. This jumper's right. There are 29 people in the chat, and it is whatever 38 minutes past. I'll give it 4 minutes, and if we haven't got more people, then I'm putting my bloody jumper back on. It's about 16 degrees in here, and I'm freezing. It's a cool T-shirt, though, isn't it? Look, the 5 o'clock. The 5 o'clock Riverboat presents boat drinks. Waitress. Wait, I'm trying to read it upside down. Waitress, I need 2 more boat drinks. Blah, 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 blah. And then there's some other stuff on there saying, oh, well, I'll show it to you another time. Oh, I'm freezing. I'm absolutely freezing. What is that on the table, Boaty? Asks Soph. I don't know. What are you looking at? My jumper here, my wine, my water, my portable electric telephone, my MacBook, or were the condiments still on the table when you posted that? That might have been it. Oh, Sean is here, or Sean was here. He might not still be here. I'm putting this back on. I'm bloody freezing. Lovely sunny day today. Yes, indeed, Sean. Isn't that bloody ironic? And the weather forecast said that it was going to rain all day today as well. It was a very enjoyable drive, but it wasn't uniformly sunny. I went through some genuinely torrential storms on the way home, including one when I was stuck on the Severn Bridge. But I also saw some beautiful rainbows, which just goes to show that every cloud has a silver lining, doesn't it? Oh no, says Grace. Sorry to hear you had a bad prem in Breck. Did you get a refund? I've never had a bad one, and I've stayed in a few now. It was terrible, Grace. Really awful. I got breakfast at Wetherspoons in Milton Keynes with my son on Saturday last week, says Dan Peters. And it was meant to be a large breakfast, and it wasn't the best. I didn't think much of it. Oh, Sherry Kay is here. I thought you would be gone much longer, says Sherry. Not that I wanted you to be. Oh, well, that's very kind of you to say so. No, flying visit. It was a flying visit home to Welsh Wales. But Sherry, obviously, I know that you're a fan of Sean's, aren't we all? And I know that you found me through him. So a treat for you coming up on both Sean's channel and mine. You're going to get plenty of us together in the same place at the same time. And most of it is him complaining about the price of... Well, actually, that's not fair. Some of it is him complaining about the price of a little treat that we had in a rather lovely spot. And the rest of it is him complaining that the ice cream van wasn't there at the top of the Rekos Mountain. There's some other little bits in between those, but that's mostly it. But you'll enjoy it because it was all delivered in Sean's oh, tricky chaps words. They're all delivered in Sean's ringing and mellifluous Welsh tones. Honestly, he could read out the ingredient on a tin of baked beans and he'd probably make more from that one video than I do in a year. That's a good voice for you, isn't it? In fact, I might start a petition that Sean should begin to read a special Welsh version of the shipping forecast for BBC Wales. At least he knows how to pronounce Talbot correctly. Anyway, lovely to have you here, Sherry. Thank you. Barry Scrotter says, sorry I'm a bit late. I was watching Hubnut drive buses. Completely understandable. Ed says you should have taken my advice and poached sausage from Asda in the kettle. Oh, God. Actually, yeah, I should have. What I should have done is not been an idiot, and I should have taken my my food warmer thingy that Neil and Sophie kindly bought me that I was so excited. Next time, I'm not eating in another dodgy sandwich in another dodgy hotel room. Although the room was lovely, actually. And I would certainly stay in that hotel again, despite the breakfast shenanigans. It was just quite a nice setting, even though it was on a retail park on the outskirts of Aberdare. Then you could look around if you were standing outside having a cigarette, then you could see mountains. And I will forgive virtually anything if you can see mountains, and you definitely could. But wherever I go in the future, I'm taking the food warmer thing and I'm taking staff curry. No more dodgy, overpriced, under-tasty sandwiches. In fact, I might even create a new YouTube craze. I mean, you've had your van lifers, you've got your wild campers, you've got your stealth campers. I'm going to create a whole new thing, hotel camping. And the idea is that you stay in a budget hotel and you do it as cheaply as you can. So you book the room only, you don't book breakfast, blah, blah, blah. And you camp in a hotel. This is a genius idea. I could be onto something with this. This is a thing that could make me rich. Hotel camping. So, because you think about it, right? If you've got a camper van or whatnot, have you ever looked, or a caravan, have you ever looked into how much it will cost you to stay somewhere overnight? More than you think if you've never done it. It is comparable to a cheap hotel room, and I suppose the thing is that if you're in your own caravan, then you can cook your own food, so you save money there. Drink your own drink, save money there, etc., blah blah blah. But you can do that in a hotel room, and I'm going to prove it with my new hotel camping YouTube channel. So yeah, you rock up to your Premier Inn or your Travelodge, but do you buy their expensive breakfast so you can get a decent cup of coffee? No, you take your own coffee machine like I did, and thank God I did. Do you go to the attached pub next door or the restaurant in the hotel, in the case of Travelodge, and buy their dreadful and somewhat overpriced food. No, you take a food warmer that your lovely friends gave you, and you take some food, and that's it. Hotel camping. You take your own drinks. You take your own because you can use their electricity. You could take a little. You could really take the piss. You could take a little suitcase. You could take your coffee machine. You could take a little mini fridge so that you can chill your drinks and chill your food. You take your food warmer so that you can effectively not cook your food, but you could at least warm your food up. And I think that's a brilliant notion. Hotel camping. Hmm. You heard it here first. And don't you go nicking the idea. It's mine. Sorry to hear about your bad breakfast experience, says Joe. Yeah, well, I would have been a lot sorrier than you if I paid for it, but I didn't. So, and the money I didn't spend on breakfast, look, I got these, and how good are those? And of course, that. And I'm going to be doing a review on those probably on Thursday. Done. Oh, okay. Right. Okay. Okay. That's not aimed at me. Neither is that. And neither is that. And neither is that. Oh, Mustard's here, or was here at the time he wrote this comment. Hello to everybody who is here and those that aren't. So that's a very all-encompassing hello, isn't it? And it's very kind of you, Mustard, to take the time and effort to welcome the people that aren't here. Oh, and now they're banging on about Hubnut. Ian got a good workout with that, driving the Bristol buses. Oh, Boaty will spank us for mentioning another channel. Oh, I don't care. I don't care. Oh dear. I mean, this is well. I would under different circumstances, but this is just a community hangout. And I actually watched. I watched half of one of his videos when he drove. When he drove one of the buses. I can't remember which one it was. I mean, the ones of his that I really did enjoy were when he drove the Leyland National. And I didn't enjoy it particularly because it was Ian or because it was a particularly amazing video. I enjoyed it because he was living my dream. The Leyland National was the bus that I grew up with. That was the bus that did the Matchborough circular. That was the bus that I went on when I was a kid. And I suppose that if you're a bit of a petrol head, you dream of driving the bus that you rode on when you were a kid. If I win the lottery, or which is unlikely because I don't do it, because the lottery is a tax on people who are unable to comprehend probabilities. But you know what I mean. If something happened that I had insane amounts of money, I would 100% buy a Leyland National, and I would turn it into a huge and really inconvenient motorhome because God knows they're not the easiest thing to drive, but I would love that. That would be part of the charm. Oh God, are you really planning to do the NC 500, Joe? That'd be quite cool. Oh, thank you. Joe says I'm welcome to the wine. Mr. Stephen Paddy from Port Sunlight and Whittle, the Leisure Peninsula, says, can Mr. Jason do a live in a different room tomorrow night? It may help you get more people watching. And we're all happy that you got back home safe after the trip. That's very kind. It is a good idea to shake the live streams up a bit. I mean, it's a good. I think I told you last night that Sean and I swapped phones and went through each other's analytics. And unsurprisingly, I found nothing 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 amiss in his. He found plenty in mine and came up with some really good suggestions. And I'm very grateful for that. And I'm going to act on all of them. So there are going to be some changes on this here channel, including one series of videos that none of you watch will be leaving entirely. They won't be leaving YouTube, but they are going on to a different channel because, as quite rightly Sean pointed out, they're really hurting my my relationship with the YouTube algorithm. I kind of knew it before, which is why I stopped doing them before, and then I brought them back because people asked me to. But you can't afford to have a really badly performing video on your channel. The odd one, yeah, but you can't afford to have a weekly really badly performing video on your channel because the algorithms will just say, okay, this channel is shit, we won't show it to anybody. Now, I've been through my analytics with a fine-tooth comb recently, and my click-through rate is really good. My impressions click-through percentage is quite high, significantly higher than the average. So in other words, my channel compared to others, more people than average will click on my video, having seen the thumbnail, having been shown the thumbnail. More people will click on it than will click on the most other channels, which is good. But my viewing figures are really low because YouTube aren't showing me to anybody. And that's one of the reasons why. Because I put videos out stupidly that I know are going to get really low viewing figures. And they take into account your subscribers as well. So I've spent however long it is, 18 months. And now I've got 6,000 subscribers. And I put out a video every week that gets about 40 views. That's insanely stupid of me. Insanely stupid of me. Because the YouTube algorithm will look, saying, right, this channel has got 6,000 subscribers and only 40 people have watched this video. And that'll send them into a turmoil. And they'll say, well, you know, we're not going to show this to anybody. If you haven't figured it out, I'm talking about Boaty's and Noshes. So I'm not going to get rid of it entirely. It's going to go on a brand new channel called, what did I think I was going to call it? The Food Diary of a Middle-Aged Man Who Can't Cook. It's a really bad name for a channel. They're really bad videos. Nobody watches them. A few people watch them and a few people like them and comment on them. And they can continue to do so on a whole new channel that's going to be one of the most unsuccessful channels on YouTube. I guarantee that. That's all it's going to be. It's just going to host the Boaty's Noshes. It's going to pick up about about 140 views per month. But taking it off the main channel should help the main channel. And there's quite a few other changes I'm going to make as well, and none of which I thought of myself, but I'd be silly not to act on the advice of somebody who clearly knows what they're talking about and for whom YouTube is working. I forgot I sent you them bottles of wine a few weeks back, says Joe. I didn't, and I'm loving this. Joe, this is superb. I'm planning on the NC500 as well, says Neil, but I want to do it with either a caravan or a tent. Right, okay. Okay. I do know Trop, says Trace. God, how far behind am I with the with the comments. Neil says, get a cheap caravan and hope for the best. Well, you can borrow Mr. George Roger Boaty. What country, in your opinion, produces the best wine in terms of flavour and, of course, cost? The best wine in terms of flavour is French, absolutely no question. The best wine in terms of the most amount of taste for the money, I would say, actually, I'm going to surprise you. I was going to say Southern Italy or Sicily, but now I'm actually going to say Malta. And apparently I'm super behind with the comments. Malta, the last time I was there, and admittedly it's been a while, Maltese wine was incredible value for money. I drank a bottle of house wine in Gozo that cost about £3, and it tasted like a bottle of wine that here in the UK would cost 30. Honestly, it was that good. I think it was the way you were sitting on the bed, Boaty. Very suggestive, says Ivor Spotty Botty. Oh dear. Well-deserved wine after your time away in Wales, and now you're home. Thank you, Joe. Gosh, says Mustard, blowing his own trumpet. The pizza was the nuts. Well, I love me. Who do you love? God. And now they're all banging on about mustard. Oh, how much fuel did you use, Mr. Boaty? Asked Dan Peters. I used 110 of the King's pounds worth of of fuel. I'm having to scroll through these comments because none of them relate to me in any way, shape, or form. Okay. Black Lion says, Boaty, I was going to PayPal you £10 for breakfast, but your PayPal address comes up as UK singles, and my wife may not have understood if she saw the statement. Is it different at dress time? Yeah, it might be. My PayPal account, which I've had for years. I've had since 2000. Since 2000. I've had it, yeah. I've had it for 24 years. I have a business PayPal account. Because originally it was used for my business, my eBay business. I have, and I'll recommend this to you if you haven't got one. If you have a business and you have PayPal, get one of these. That is a PayPal business debit card, and it gives you 1% cash back on every single thing that you buy. Brilliant thing to have. Now, obviously, I don't spend large amounts anymore because I don't have large amounts to spend. But, 1% is better than a smack in the mouth. And it's better than nothing at all, which is what you get on most debit cards. So, yeah, I recommend that. Then when UK Singles became a charity, then I did change the name on my PayPal account because I thought it would look a little bit dodgy if people are donating to a charity, but it comes up with Jason Parry Hughes. So what I did was I added, because you can have multiple email addresses on your PayPal account. So I added what was then the charity email address, still is actually, and I changed the business name to UK Singles, so that anybody who was doing a charity donation to UK Singles, they could see that it was going where they thought it was going, rather than going to some individual who had my name. But yeah, Singles doesn't get any donations anymore. So yeah, it is time to change it. So that's a good point. Well made. And on Thursday, I will change the name to Boaty's World. And that's probably a jolly good idea. Well, it's definitely a jolly good idea. And I say I'll do it on Thursday. I'm not going to have time to do anything tomorrow. If you watched the live stream last night, you'll know that Sean's video is going out 7 o'clock Thursday morning, and I've got to get mine out before that. And a massive thank you again to Sean. I've seen his video. He's incredibly generous with both the coverage of me and the mentions and exhortations and links for people to come to my thing. So that's very kind. So that means I've got to try and put half decent video out. I've got to get it all edited from shed loads of footage tomorrow. And of course, I've got to go to work. So all of tomorrow I'm giving over to editing because I've got to backfill some things. I've got to get in some library footage. There are some facts and figures I need to check. I'm going to have to create some stuff. My mind was, excuse me, wine burps, hiccups. My mind was buzzing all of tonight at work with how I'm gonna do this video. I do think it's not going to be perfect, not by a long chalk. It's probably not going to do. Depends how many come over from Sean to have a look. So it's probably going to do. I would hope it's going to do a little better than normal. I don't think it's going to be a massive breakthrough, but I do think, along with some other tweaks to the channel, I do think it's going to be possibly a good starter for 10 to try and get things on the upswing. And I've got loads of other things planned. I've come up with a new title, and yeah, loads and loads of plans of places to be going this spring, summer in around Wales. Obviously, Llandudno is going to be one. I'd love to get Sean with me. I'd love to drag him to Llandudno. I think I mentioned that last night in quite a memorable fashion. Talaka needs to be on there. Barmouth needs to be on there. Oakwood Park needs to be on there. Snowdonia needs to be on there. Snowdon Mountain Railway, the Little Railways of Wales, the Cambrian Line, Llanberis Lake Railway, Brecon Mountain Railway back home, and loads of other things. There's so much that I could do and will do. But yeah, I'll do the PayPal thing on Thursday without fail. Bloody hell, Boaty, fiddling with himself made the numbers go to 40. Did it? Did it really? They do say better out than in, not when it comes to the little tinkle. And so, what are you all banging on about the table? The table hasn't seen any action. I've not been here. Oh, is that what some of the comments were about? Supernatural pottering on the table when I was away. Oh, it wouldn't surprise me. In, out, wave it all. Oh, wave your willies around the caravan. That's still one of my favourite things, Trace. That's maybe not a lot of people get it. I do. You do. Mustard didn't. Mustard didn't get what we were losing the plot at, but I thought that was hilarious. Wave your willy around the caravan. He will be ending the live stream bang on midnight. Straight on the phone. Pop over for a pottering. Oh, God. Oh my God, says Joe, this live has suddenly made a drastic change in the comments. Someone that didn't have enough money for petrol buys mustard. It's my one and only chance to. It wasn't stupidly expensive, actually. And I didn't spend the money on breakfast. That's my justification. These two, I mean, they weren't cheap. I'll be honest. But I think they were, well, I know £6.75 for the two. And, once you've had horseradish mustard, it's like, once you've had black, you never go back. And once you've had horseradish mustard, you don't want to go back to any of the normal stuff. And if I'd have really had any money, I would have bought 3 or 4 of these. But at least I know at least one place where I can get it. If I'd have had more time, then I would have stopped off in Bromsgrove and Droitwich and had a quick drive about in search of a Mr. Dave's Boaty, which I'm still craving. I'm craving a Mr. Dave's. But I didn't have time and I didn't have money to buy one anyway. They're quite expensive now. I think they're about £6 or something ridiculous. But I'd like to buy a couple. I'm going to do a video at some point, again, when I've got time and money, in search of a Mr. Dave's Boaty. And the whole video will just be me driving round Birmingham, trying to find somewhere that flogs a Mr. Dave's. He did have a T-shirt on saying he loves mustard, Jimmy. Good point, Black Lines. Oh, Neil, how long did it take from Wales to home for you, says Dan Peters. Well, I didn't come home, did I? I went to work. But it took me from leaving the hotel to getting to work, took me 6 hours. 6 long hours. How many MPG do you get on noodles and mustard? And Neil says he's the only bloke who worries about getting back with no fuel because further out of his way to acquire 2 pots of mustard. Legend. Yeah, I did set fire to something. Sorry about that. Bernard's ringing his phone that much that his phone has caught fire. She's on Widge Watch. But I'm not reading that out. Oh, God. Oh, go on then, Andrew. Boaty slathered up with horseradish, mustard, and HP sauce. Gets on the phone to Bernard and says, dinner's ready. Oh, look at the time, and I'm so far behind with the comments. Me and Neil had a bacon and sausage sandwich on tiger bread. Well, now I'm jealous. That sounds fantastic. I need a bacon. Now that I've got HP sauce stolen from a pub whose name I can't pronounce, now I've got that, then I need a bacon and sausage sandwich in my life. And that might happen on Saturday. I might do a reworking of an old video, head out to a farm shop if I've got any money, buy some really nice bread, a couple of, and the good thing about a butcher is you can buy 2 sausages, a couple of really good sausages, some good bacon, and make a beautiful sausage and bacon sandwich. Saturday, that would be good. My question, Mr. Boaty, is smoked bacon or unsmoked, home cured or shop bought? Well, smoked and not shop, but well, kind of shop bought, but farm shop bought, so that it's cured, so that it's locally slaughtered and cured on the farm would be my choice. He's going to be smothering Bernard in brown sauce. No one cares about how much you order, says Grace, and you can get seconds and thirds. Seriously, they've seen worse. One bloke I saw ordered literally 4 of everything except sausage. He had 6. Who cares? If it's quality bacon, says Jimmy, you don't put any sauce on it. If you're in a cafe, you put HP on because the bacon is crap. Your breakfast standards are high, Boaty. I'd horse into it. Always the same, says Neil. It sits on a hot plate for ages. There's a butcher's around me that does door wedge bacon. It's stupendously thick. It's like gammon. Absolutely amazing. That and the tomato sausage. Oh, a free breakfast, says Trace. Who cares if it's crap then? Exactly. One of the best breakfasts I had was in the Hilton in Birmingham, says Jimmy Quinn. Um, Hilton in Birmingham is good, says Neil, but very pricey. I met a bird up there once who was stopping in there, well above my pay grade for one night. And Jimmy says, I stayed for 3 nights, Neil. Get you. Do the live stream in your bedroom, Boaty, says Jimmy. I might do actually for a laugh. Not from the bath, says Andrew. Balance the camera on the back of Bernard. Don't get excited about Bernard calling up. As far as I'm aware, Bernard is still in a relationship with that super dodgy bloke. So if she's ringing me several times at this time of night, then they've either had an argument or she's pissed or she just fancied catching up. Don't read anything into it. God knows. I spent 8 years of reading things into it, and where did that get me? Still head over heels in love with the woman. Always will be. I'll die that way. Dan Peters is off. Night all. Thanks for a great live. Take care. Yeah, say good night, darlings. It's oh God, it's awfully late. Must be cold. We can see his hat pegs. You look like a twat in that t-shirt. Thank you, Jimmy. That's really kind of you. Or you could hang a coat up, says Ben. Chapel hat peg, says Andrew. Lucky the Ukrainian captain and Indian crew of a container ship weren't having boat drinks near the Severn Bridge when you were stuck on it, says John. Boaty, why didn't you go to a cafe, says Jimmy Quinn? Well, because breakfast was going to be free there and the cafe would have charged me. Boaty, in a motorhome, says Jimmy Quinn, it's between 25 to 60 pounds per night. There you go, you see. Hotel camping, it's the way forward for the single man or couple or family. In a travelodge, you can sleep forward in a room. That's called glamping with Boaty, or how to blag a free meal from a hotel. Buy a small microwave, Boaty asked Jimmy. I wondered about that. I did wonder about that. I wondered if they did like a mini microwave or if they're all for. I've never searched, but if they did a mini microwave, I'd genuinely buy one and take it. I can't wait to go camping, says Neil, just to see how Boaty fares with being cold, wet, and intoxicated. I keep forgetting I promised to go camping with you. Sherry says a big feature here in the US for many hotel chains that I'm actually looking to go and stay in for a while now. While I look for a new place to live, they include free hot breakfast, fridge, and microwave. God, that'd be brilliant, wouldn't it? A fridge and a microwave. That'd be amazing. Get Fred the shed on the road, convert him into a mobile kitchen, and you could also sell some Momo. Oh, bugger Fred the shed. Oh, God, no Neil's on it. Andrew, that's a good shout. Get an inverter in the back to run the Tasman, get a hot plate and steamer in the back, and it will pay for itself at shows. The camping trip will be a laugh, says Joe, and make sure to like the live. Oh, dear, oh, dear, oh, dear. Oh, and Sherry very kindly says, people, make sure you hit the all notifications on this channel so he can up his views. Notchless, says Chaz Brown. Yeah, it's going on to a different show. I can't keep Boaty's notches on. It's killing my views, amongst other things, but that's one of the things that does need to change. Oh, don't forget you were going to give channel memberships away. Oh, I was, wasn't I? Hold on, let me whiz through. I'm just going to have to. The two funny things about wave your willy around the caravans were, one, you being so happy about it. I was, wasn't I? And two, Mustard's look of utter confusion. Yeah, I enjoyed those as well. I'll bring the Mr. Dave's on Saturday, says Neil. I've got to go there and get some bits. Oh, and Trace adds, number three, the randomness of it all happening. You live near farms, Boaty, says Andrew. Get Boo to work and go and liberate a lamb and a pig or two. Oh, dear. Right, I tell you what. I've caught up with the comments, although I ignored quite a few. Before you let go, I'm going to give away very quickly 5 channel memberships. And then I'm going to get some food on because I've eaten rubbish food for ages. And I need some staff curry inside of me. Okay, here we go. Right, get ready, darlings. Make sure your thing is set to accepting gifts. Look, I know what I'm doing now. I can do it really quickly. Oh, excuse me. Three, two, one, go. Okay. Excellent. Right, let's see who got them. Chaz Brown, new channel member. Chris Maguire, new channel member. Peter Plus, new channel member. Oh, Sophie. Oh, fabulous. And Kevin Hughes. Oh, brilliant. Oh, brilliant. I'm delighted with all of those. So, yeah, welcome to all the new channel members. And you're going to be getting some stuff to look at over the next few days. Right, that's it. Time to let you go. Time to get me some. I'm so looking forward to a decent meal. You know how I am. How I am about my food. And I've just. Of course, you haven't seen, have you? I'm thinking you've seen. You know what I've eaten. You don't know what I've eaten. Monday lunch. McDonald's hamburger. No fries, nothing else. Just £1.29 hamburger. Had to do it on the cheap. Monday supper, lousy Asda sandwich and a packet of crisps. Oh, and that packet of knickknacks. Oh, and half a plate of chips with Sean. Then breakfast was, a little bit of a really bad breakfast. I think I ate all the beans. I didn't eat any of the tomato. I ate all of the bacon, some of the sausage, none of the eggs. And then lunch today was another McDonald's hamburger at the services just before the Severn Bridge. And that's another £1.29. And that's it. That's it. I'm starving. I'm going to have a goodly portion of staff curry tonight. Oh, please don't make me use Fred the Shed. I don't want to turn Fred the. Can't I sell some cars and get something like and get a van or a Ford Galaxy or I tell you what, I'll sell all of the cars. I'll sell all of the cars. I'll buy the Rêveur 623 and I'll buy an old Sherpa camper van or something, and I'll do it from that. Actually, I really fancy doing that now. Darlings, I'm going to go. Thank you so much for joining me. Seriously, thank you. Thank you to everybody who supported me in the run-up to the Welsh trip and during the Welsh trip. Thank you to everybody for Monday night. If you want to do me a favour, then when I get this bloody video out, have a look at it and click the old like button and maybe even share it if you fancy it. And I will see you guys tomorrow night, Wednesday night live, 11 o'clock. Oh, and yeah, so the video, the Welsh video, if all goes according to plan, it'll be out in the 1919 slot tomorrow night. So keep an eye out for that. And then there are going to be retrospective daily diaries where you get it all. I'm just going to throw all of the footage in there on my own with Sean, whatever. And they're going to be in the Monday and Tuesday daily diaries, but they're probably not going to appear until Thursday and Friday. And then I'm just going to have to do a catch up at some point. And then I've got a slightly new plan for the daily diaries going forward. I told you I wouldn't have time to tell you anything. I haven't told you any of the exciting restaurant news. And it looks like there's going to be a new restaurant quite soon. And I'm so excited to talk to you about it. And no, I haven't got time. It's 23 minutes past. I can't. And oh, this is what I wanted to talk to you about, right? New restaurant and buying a hotel. As well as the converting of the, then I've spent, work was dead tonight. So all of tonight has been spent discussing how we're going to work the new restaurant and looking for an actual existing hotel to buy. So we'll have to talk about that tomorrow, darlings. Thank you so much for watching. Please tune in tomorrow, Wednesday night live, 11 o'clock, and have a safe and peaceful night. Have the best day that you can tomorrow. Much love to you all. Take great care of yourselves. Okay? Good night. Good you and indeed. Bosh.